Hello there, welcome once again everyone to another episode, or maybe I should say the first official episode of the Silent Revolution. Now, as to how do we start this journey into modifying, or rather say how we can improve upon an environment that is led by stress, so to speak, as not to say toxicity, because that's definitely not the issue here. Toxicity is just the stagnation of water itself. It's like saying if there's water stuck that is not moving, then it's considered dead because it's no longer moving, it's not flowing, then becomes stagnant. And then that's not just like blood, right? If our body or heart pumps blood into our blood vessels, into the places that they need blood because there's nutrition within the blood, and they also mixed with plasma, and so you start to see that movement, it's important. And so how does this correlate to a call center? Specifically, you would ask yourself. And so one, you have to understand that the call centers live and die by the accounts that they have. And so the accounts are then become part of their pumping system, and then the people that are within each account then becomes the movement, the workers, that they move those gears, that, so to say, that move that volume of their work. And so how does this correlate with toxic environment and management of stress? You would ask. Well, it's simple. There are a lot of little aspects all together that create the whole and the dynamic itself of what is a call center. Now, you would say that a call center is defined by what? By the level of call that they take. They go and sit in front of a computer, get yourself headset, try to be as comfy as you could possibly get, and then go ahead and become the interpreter of the system, of the product that you are selling, and then become the interpreter of the customer toward their product. And so yes, you are right, and that product then has its different departments that work on different things. And so, and then you would have to the call center works from 8 to 5, and then they don't work extended hours, they don't work weekends, but then there's other call centers that work weekends, and then they also have extended shift, and then they all work 24/7, and then all of these different places then share that same different time frames as to cover that what has been promised to the first place, to the customer. And then what does that create? Does that create, oh wow, I think somebody's dying. Oh well, not my problem. Sadly, even though I do have I was getting home, for example, and then I did have a how can I say this, a bus didn't respect me while I was going in the street on my bicycle, and then it went so fast that I have to start placing my brakes, and goodness, I would have hit that bus, or maybe I would even have hit the car that was parked almost beside me. But then again, I miraculously was able to drift through both of vehicles and remain unscathed. Does that have to do anything with this? No, but I wanted to share it. Then again, okay, going back into what I was speaking about, then you would see that this type of promises that are envisioned in the first place and given then to customers as promises, then they become the foothold that creates then a promise. And this promise then, if you do not hold your word, then the customer will then hold you accountable for that, because a product lives and dies by their own how good is their level of trust because you gotta understand that trust this. I shake my hand, this other person shake my hand, saying, yeah, we are on agreement. And then that trust is a promise. And then that promise then becomes a binding. And so that binding then becomes a contract. And you have to understand that words itself have power. And because they have power, they are the foothold, the founding stone of a promise. And a promise then becomes an agreement. And then that agreement must be whole then by a contract. And then that contract ends up to become holy. And holy then becomes sealed, protected, hermetically sealed within a geometry. When that happens with that geometry, you will ask yourself, then that geometry itself, because it's hermetically sealed, it has the ability to store energy. And because it has the ability to store energy, then it can grow and expand itself from that promise. And so you have to understand that call centers are just like that. Call centers are promises given by the customer. But the example is that labor work is not done directly by the company, but rather outsourced. Remember, the game that company works is outsourcing. Because why? Why is so outsourcing so important to the game? You will ask yourself. It is important because people do it out of commerce, out of their own benefit. And because if you were, for example, were to say that normally the majority of people that have these cool companies and have these cool product and ideas, they're in the United States. So if you find that the leading countries are the one that has the higher level of currency, and so, for example, Europe with their euro, not all the countries in Europe use euro, by the way, just to highlight the strong currencies. There's the United States, then the yen slowly growing, outgrowing the I think the yen, no. How do you call a Chinese currency? Well, whatever that currency is. And then the Korean currency as well. And then you gotta say, if you look, for example, here in Guatemala, being realistically, if you want to exchange $1, currently is, last time I checked, it was at $7.56 if you sell your dollar. That's the amount of currency that you have. And then you have to see that, whoa, hold there, boy. You're saying me that one miserable dollars of my own actually come and then multiply almost to 8 if you round it up within your country. Goodness, then that would mean I'm quite wealthy within your country. And if I get the same quality, or maybe it's better in some things than in my country, by winning my own currency, couldn't I be profiting? Because I could go and pay you less than what I pay these other people here, and get a better quality of quality assurance, so to say, than here. Maybe the things that I don't want to deal with right here, if you don't suck too much, I'm going to give them to you. And then the people that says here that already have all the equipment, they're training the people on the product, and then, well, we are still earning quite a lot. And then again, you gotta understand that how business works. Business always work on the long run, middle to long run. Normally they do not play the short game, but if they do play it, they also take that into account. That's not a game that you just simply go and play. No, that's something that you have to calculate coldly and realistically. And who knows what else? I'm quite ignorant in that side, so to say. And so you have to understand that then some people then find more appealing other places where they can lower the cost of their investment and get a better return on their money. And so Guatemala is just one of those places, like many other places around different countries. And so do that simple currency exchange rate. And when you have to find out that, it's quite interesting, because in terms of metaphysics and esoteric knowledge, you gotta understand that when people talk about different philosophies, there are different philosophies around the world. For example, you have the Chinese knowledge about how they view the world and how do they view esoterically the world. Then you have the Western world, of course, and then you have the Europeans as well. Then you have the people in Africa, in Egypt, and you also have here Latin America in their different ways. And you gotta understand that in Guatemala here, for example, the most prevalent and strong how can I tell you this? The stronger religion is Christianity. And so Catholic Christianity, then the Protestant evangelics, and much more, and who knows what else. And then you have to find out that this country specifically has been colonized several times. And you gotta understand something about history. History always repeats itself, because the world in reality itself, in the universe by nature, it's holographically and fractal. And so it's always projecting itself. And at the same time, it always repeats several patterns fractally throughout history. And so we are always playing this game of evolution. And so I would dare to say, for how much I have read, I can tell you that sometimes people cherish some things more than others, but at the same time they cherish things and people because they have been gone through with those things through an experience, through a process of bonding with it, to connecting with it in one way or another. And so what does this have to do with call centers, you will might ask? Well, that's definitely a good question, dear viewer, and one that I will hopefully be able to answer. And so you understand now that people live and die by their culture. And so if you understand that one of the oldest call centers here that started the call center groove back in the 2000s, I think, it was Transactel. And so that's not the name of that place anymore. That place is now called Telus and has gone to different iterations and so on, right? But the thing is that that's the first call center that will make a big splash within the market here in Guatemala. And then other companies, because they saw their effort, they saw their quality, and say, maybe this is a place where I can put my trust and my money. Because remember, trust comes first, and then comes money. So relationships are important because they are an instinctive and all ever connected part of the process. And so now that you understand that, you gotta see that culture ever so slightly showing its little fingers on on the table and slowly moving toward that cookie that's called Guatemala. And so you can see now that Guatemala has been influenced by the United States in many ways, by their own religions, by their own culture, by nature, and then now their own work. And then you have to understand something about Guatemala, my dear viewers, that Guatemala has two systems when you can create a company. And so you can create one that is, I don't remember quite well the phrases exactly, but I will get them on the next video. I'm not going to put it on a description because, goodness, I'm not going to bother myself. I'd rather have the book physically and look it up and show you. But I will do it, hopefully. And so the thing is that there are two types of companies. The normally companies that one has 8 to 4 schedules, and that they have weekends off. They also sometimes give you the Guatemalan holidays. They also give you the 2 annual bonuses if you are assigned directly to the company, that we call here Bono 14 and Aguinaldo. And there's also that other type, second of company, that we call maquilas. And so a maquila model, so to say, it's one that has extended shift. It's one that has a lower level of okay, let's not say lower, let's say a different type of importance to things. And so since it has a little different level of importance, and so it values things differently, it can give the holiday if it want to, but normally they don't give them to them. And then what happens if you work for a foreign company? Do you apply their holidays instead of your own national holidays? And the answer is yes, of course. And then you understand that. And then, so what if they can work weekends? Yeah, because they can, and they will. And then you can see that where is a maquila, then you don't have to give them their 1 hour lunch like in the other type of company. No, you can lower that. And then you understand that call centers here based on Guatemala, some, if not most, and I dare to say, and even I do not know if that's true, but some are probably under that type of contract. They are a maquila, but they are, how can I say this without making them sound lame? Oh wait, I cannot. Well, so then, what are they? They're a maquila VIP for very important people. Oh, that sounds hilarious. Oh, well, who cares? And so then, oh yes, I'm enjoying myself, guys. So feel free to tell me. And so you understand that then call center works based on the maquilas. And you gotta understand that that gives them the freedom to do what their customer wants. And at the same time, lower the SIMs here and there, do little adjustments, like customizing their own company, so as to give better perks than the other companies. But at the same time, not giving the same the perks that the good companies that are based upon here with the laws of Guatemala, specifically, that give them 1 hour lunch, or they maybe give them more. No, we can adapt this model to this. And then we can improve some stuff, but not at this level. But we can call them perks. And so that's something that happens here in Guatemala. To what degree? Well, you gotta find out. You could ask the companies that directly give that work here to Guatemala. But who knows? Who cares? That's not the issue here. It's just that those are definitely problems that we can go and fix. But who is going to listen to us? Who has enough power to leverage that for us? And who has enough humanity within them still left intact that cares about those things without jeopardizing looking back to their co-workers at those magnitudes of power? Who? Good question. I don't know them. Do they even exist? Are they a myth? Are there illusions created by my mind and my goodwill, by my desire to improve this type of environment? That is a question that I don't want to answer, because even if I don't know the answer, I'll rather trust the unknown and wait for that person to exist and to come to help me. If they want to, of course. And if they don't, well, who cares? I'm still going to do this because I enjoy it. And so you understand now that call centers have different values that benefit the person that create that company in the first place. And so you gotta understand, companies, some, most, not all, are ruthless because they desire expansion, they desire big earnings, and they don't care about their people. They're companies that do not grow but are rather stable and that care about their people. They simply are stable and exist, but there is no power in them. It's just like a farmer. A farmer has to go and use these seeds, use these pesticides, and then does he has the power? He has the land, so he can create the benefit. And so he can create those fruits, those plants that can be harvested for money. So he has the power. No, of course not. He's the exploited one, and we reap the benefit. The companies that give us that reap also the benefits. And then you understand that everything is a war of attrition, and at the same time it's a war that we play every day. And so is there a way to fix that? Is there a way that we can become better person, that we can establish a better level of communication with one another? Of course there is. There's always a better solution. Answer always come before the questions. But now you gotta understand that if you do not have the passion, or do not have that desire to fix that thing that you love and that you cherish, nobody else will do you for you. If you do not have that desire that grows abundantly, infinitely, you'll one day be without that useless motivation, and then you'll simply wither and die. And so a call center, it's just that. Once a person is without that vitality, they are discarded and they are replaced. Oh, don't worry, that always applies in every company, so it's understandable that, yes. And so now, to say something positively about this, rather than saying, yes, people do earn more money within a call center than your average job. Is it because of the 2-language threshold, or maybe 3-language threshold? Yeah, of course, it's that. And so, why not then send that to Europe? They know far more language than we do here in Latin America. So why not, right? The thing is that they win in euros, and that it's only on par on a dollar. Even so, a dollar costs, you gotta place one more dollar there to have their help, so to say. And so, economically speaking, and if you want your more profits, then that's not the place to go. This place that is not so developed as the other people, let's say it's for what it is, a third level country, then yeah, let's help them write their own economy. So why not, right? All good on a great day of work. And my pocket is, that's why a lot of money and change. And so there is that, yes, but that's not the core of the issue. The core of the issue is the culture. And so you gotta understand that a call center culture is far more than what it is. It is identity. Then if you ask a human being, can you change your identity, sir? Can you change your identity, ma'am? Or can you change your identity, people of the many letters? They will say no. But then what if it's that identities causing them damage. Do they care? No. They'll simply sleep on it, then wake up, revitalize, and continue another day creative work. And you understand that the culture then runs deeper. But what if culture itself runs in the subconscious realm and not in a conscious realm? And so you understand that culture is made by their habits. And how many days do you need to change a habit or to write a habit within the neuroplasticity of the brain? 21 days of doing that same habit. And then what happens then when the environment then pushes an agenda specifically? Then it creates a wire habit. And then what does that create? Exactly, you guessed it, a culture. And when you add everything, then becomes more robust, more grander than whenever it was, because it is within a hermetically sealed geometry that it can store energy within it. And so you understand that then people become cogs. They give their energy to the call center, but more specifically, more truly, to the egregore of the account they are working to. And so I know this is a little bit abstract and quite complex in nature, but what does this have to do with getting to heal it? We have to understand that first, the nature of what is a call center. What does it make it? What does it make its blood pump? What does it keep it alive? And so now we understand that we can delve this deeper on another episode, but at the same time we can also dwell within the answers that we can give ourselves as to why, how can we fix this. And so you got to understand now that you know a little bit of the background. A call center itself is a place for things that happen very fast in a short term. Then a call center itself, what do they have that other places do not have? That's a good question. Let's see. They earn more money. They are more stressful. Do they eat better? Absolutely not, because they themselves are a fast-moving pace. And so, okay, if I don't have time, and then I need to eat fast, so what do I eat? There's definitely a world of play there. Could there be an answer? Could there be something that can we use as fast and food? Wait, that's it. Fast food. Exactly. If you actually able to get the answer before even I told you, then you got yourself 100, and you also got yourself a star on the forehead, or whatever you want to place on your forehead. And so the answer is fast food. Fast food can be delivered through an app. I can go to this food court. Well, what do you know? A call center is just near a food court with a mall. Then hey, I can pick on the go, and then I can come back. Will I be able to do that with 30 minutes? Do I have for lunch? Well, you gotta experiment with that. Because that's the only time you have. And so you understand that fast food then becomes synonymous with a call center lifestyle. And also other people in other franchises use that. Pick on the go, get that quick pick me up, get that rush of sugar, of coffee, wake me up, get me ready, please. Let those customers in, sound ready. But what happens 30 minutes before? Oh, goodness, I think the rush is over. What do I do now? Well, now you are in a pickle. Or are you? Wait, what happens? What did I say before? Oh yeah, 21 days. What if that becomes your daily dosage of food? What if that becomes your everyday meal? And then What happens after that? Well, it becomes a habit, and a habit then becomes a creed, and then a habit becomes a creed, becomes a religion, and then it becomes a dogma, and then it becomes something else, or maybe not. Can I stop it? Why not? Because I'm earning a lot of money. I have responsibilities. I need to sacrifice my time for my loved ones. I need to get these services. They need to be up 24/7 for me to be happy. To me, to have something I can distract myself on this one miserable hour that I got free. That I have for me time for myself. And you understand that that's a whole creed. It becomes a culture. And then you understand that slowly but surely the countries that are with call centers become, in one way or another, they become westernized. And so you gotta understand that little by little capitalism has go and dug their claws within other countries. For example, let me place here the example of Antigua Guatemala. Antigua Guatemala was the capital before someone became the capital for Guatemala. And I think it was after the eruption of the volcano of Volcán de Agua. And so they moved the capital to another place to avoid that. And then that place, if I can tell you that place, goodness, it has its cables placed underground. It looks pretty cool. It looks old. It looks ruralistic. And it has all these weird, huge churches that are about to fall apart, but they don't fix them because sacrilege, blasphemy, shame on you for trying to fix our all decaying wall, because it's our church. It's holy. It should never be repaired or maintenance. But then you ask yourself, if they don't do that with the churches, then why are they able to give maintenance to the holy idols? To my wooden idol. Why do they keep maintaining that over and over so I can go parade it? And, oh wow, it's because the idol is far more important than the church in that building. Who cares about the building? But the wooden idols, goodness, don't touch those. Throw the money at the problem so we can fix it. Oh hell, religion. And so you understand that for some reason, I'm going to say that this may sound offensive, but I say it with love and sarcasm as well, not just with hatred, okay? And so, for some odd reason, the gringos, yes, the gringos love Antigua Guatemala. For some odd reason, they love to walk on concrete. Not on nature, no, ew, get that stuff there. Give me my rubble, gravel, walk site, made out of concrete. Oh, yeah, give me those rocks that make of the side. Yeah, there's no place to leave a car. Who cares? But I like it. And so you understand that what happens with the call center happens on a different level of magnitude in Antigua Guatemala. And so gringos go there, live, and they throw their money at it. Oh yeah, my money here is weighs 8 more times than it used to be in my country, and I like it here. So, and so you understand that something that I saw once I went, you could see that we have something we call the indigenous people of Guatemala. And so the indigenous people of Guatemala is the one that have been born outside of the capital. And so most people normally live in the countryside, and they get their jobs on the countryside and so on, right? And yeah, their living environment is not the best, but they get through whatever they can. They do it, and they are fine with their slow paces life. Remember, pace is a key word. So now you understand that if you go into a place where there's only indigenous people, and then you flood it with gringos and other type of, who knows, of people that go there, foreigners, and then you see them all tattoo, and then yeah, I said that on purpose. Yes. I don't like tattoos. No. And that's my liking. And I respect people with tattoos, but I don't like them in the personally. Why make your own immune system fight ink when it can do something else within your body into? Nah, that's not for me. And hopefully, well, maybe somebody does like it. Goodness, it's probably a lot of people. Oh wow, probably a lot. Yeah. And so you understand that people then flood that place, and with their money they become injections of money, and tourism then becomes popular. And then there are people that want to invest in that place. They want to go and grab the attention of those big fish, so to say. And so then you have to raise the level of the education of the people. And then the indigenous people then become the left out group, because they never had their level of studies to rival the people that needed those other jobs, that they did have that level of studies. And then you see them in the parks, you see them within the places outside of the churches, surrounding themselves with them. Are they being discriminated? Who knows? Who knows? But I can tell you one thing: they are the elephant in the room, and they stick out. Is that bad? No. You can simply see the marginalizing way of what culture has become in that place. And so some people enjoy that place. Yeah, I find it repugnant. I find it insulting to nature and what is organic and what is balance and harmony. What is the harmony within that? No, there's no harmony in that. Goodness, horrible. But yet again, money talks, right? And so you understand that people that come and have a little bit money there, but they save it up and then use it in another country, they have leverage, they have power. And then you understand that things are different. And then people that live outside of the country, they have it high, then they go here into the capital to get themselves a better job, so then they can improve their family circumstances. Oh goodness, it's just. And then if you move out of this country into another region, you gotta start that process over there, and from zero. And so you gotta say and understand that the American dream is alive, but people leave it because they have better circumstances that they didn't have within their home country. And so now you can see that culture is what they take sometimes. It's something that is created out of necessity, something that keeps things together to a degree. But then you go into the pace side of things, and then you understand that the pace becomes faster, and some places slower. And then you understand that there are different things that have to take into consideration. And so I will start taking on the next episode about this, and also about the solutions. But we have to identify that the problem is sometimes the pace. People do not have the ability to relax themselves. And so we'll go into that on the next episode next week, and we'll go into understanding what could be the root problem, what could be the thing that we have to fix. Because sometimes when you have spiritual knowledge and you have that desire to help others, then why go into the mountains where there's nothing? And why not going into the places that need our help? And then I'm willing to place myself there. I'm willing myself to place that effort, that stress under me, and to fix it from the inside, what from the side of me. So I do hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I sure know that I will be working. Ha ha ha. And so my weekends, my day falls, so to say, it's Thursdays and Fridays. So yeah, I'll speak about what did I take the other day on the next week. And so everyone have a great day, have a great weekend, and do take care of yourself. Big hug from me. Okay, love yourselves and bye.